with dyslexia?
I was diagnosed in first grade.
How severe is your dyslexia? What type do you have?
I forgot the name, but it's reading and spelling is the biggest problem for me. It was really severe when I was a kid. I had to switch schools in third grade. It was really traumatic, actually, so it didn't help anything. So then when I went to SAP, I got the help I needed, and then at Murray I was in special ed classes, and now I don't need any extra help, so it's not as severe.
What everyday challenges do you face with dyslexia?
When we're reading in class aloud, I tend to just read it before I say it out loud because I most likely will go really slow if I don't, or I won't know a word, and I like to ask people around me what these words are so I don't sound like I don't know it. But and also when I'm reading to my little, because I'm a mentor, I feel kind of insecure reading to little kids because I feel like they're like, oh, what's wrong with you? And there's really nothing wrong with me.
How have the challenges you faced developed over the years?
It's helped me a lot. The things I had to face, I was bullied for it because, oh, you're stupid. I've even had trouble with teachers. My second grade teacher, she knew I was dyslexic, but just put me into a whole different category as just being plain, quote, slow. And it was really hard. I wasn't really engaged in class for a really long time until I hit junior high, and then that kind of made me feel like, okay, it's not wrong to be dyslexic. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm just different.
What is the toughest experience you've had with dyslexia? What was the toughest age or grade for you?
Just all of elementary school was horrible. I hated it. I mean, I liked people who I met there. I liked some of my teachers and everything, but at that age, everyone's asking you, what's wrong with you? And you don't know what's wrong with you. And I feel like once I learned more about what dyslexia was and found that it was not uncommon to have it, I felt that there was nothing wrong with me. And it kind of empowered me to help people who have different type of learning disabilities.
How have you overcome these challenges?
Well, I mean, I just practiced reading. That was my biggest thing, writing how I felt and reading it back to see if it makes sense. It took some things at home. It wasn't just all what I learned in school. I would buy books that were maybe 2 grades above my level and read them over and over and again. I read Howl's Moving Castle. I bought it when I was in 7th grade. It was way out of my reading level, and I read it 4 times until I understood the book. So, I mean, it was just determination to understand.
How did this affect your family?
My parents didn't know what to do. They kind of looked at it as, there's nothing wrong with her, she's not a bad person, but what do you do? And so what my parents did helped a lot. Anytime we went anywhere, I had to read it. Is there a menu? Well, read me this word. They point out a random word. Oh, that billboard, what does that say? And those little things helped me so much every day.
Do you know the root cause of your dyslexia? Are you born with it?
I believe it. They said I was born with it. I don't know personally more about mine because I don't have any special help. So I was diagnosed at such a young age. As far as I know, I was born with it. It wasn't something like a stroke or anything that happened throughout my life, later in my life.
Even though technically it isn't a disease, do you think there's a cure for dyslexia?
No, I don't think it's a problem, so there shouldn't be a cure. I think we need to teach our teachers more how to teach people of all different learning disabilities or non-learning disabilities. And I don't even think it's a disability. I think it's a natural thing to learn differently.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Dyslexia is not a disease. It is actually just a mental disorder that people can overcome.
when it comes to dyslexia, Yale, a well-known university that people like to go to, they get $8 million from the U.S. government just to study it. And it's quite surprising that they spend all this money and effort on just working on dyslexia. Most people, when they hear dyslexia, they think that it's going to jump around the numbers or the letters or whatever people are doing, and it's really not. I was diagnosed with dyslexia when I was in first grade with one of my friends, and we were the only 2 kids in our school. So we went to this one class together, and we really learned to deal with our dyslexia and reorder everything so that we were able to maintain focus, in a sense. With dyslexia, it kind of challenges your day-to-day basis of how you read, how you do math, how you organize just anything. And sometimes it can lead to other issues like OCD or anything along organizational ideas or ideologies that are thrown in.